What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing. I decided to show you a portion of my collection. I've never shown my collection before. I'm only going to show you about 2% of my collection. Right now, what you're looking at is the first Ring magazine that was made, that was published. Ring magazine was published February 15th, 1922. This is the very first edition. I have it in plastic, as you can see. I have every single Ring magazine that was ever published. I have the European Ring magazine, Australian Ring magazine, the Latin Ring magazine, and of course the Ring magazines that was published in the U.S. It was published by Nat Flasher. I have every single Boxing Illustrated magazine that was published by Burt Sugar. I have every single Boxing Wrestling magazine that was published by Stanley Weston. I have well over 5,000 magazines in general. Let's take a look at some of the scrapbooks. Right here you're looking at, I just brought out my Police Gazette scrapbooks. Right here you're looking at Jack Blackburn, as we all know him as a trainer for Joe Louis, but he had a career of his own. Just show you a little bit of him. His name was Charles Henry. He was born out of Kentucky. It was March 3rd, 1883. And he fought the likes of Dixie Kid. He fought Sam Langford. He fought them all. He was a heck of a fighter. Heck of a fighter, heck of a trainer. Look at another book. Got some Jack Dempsey's in there. Like I said, I have every single Ring magazine. Not just the ones that's in my scrapbook, but the actual magazines. I have them in a separate location. Let's take a look. Take a look at another book here. This one is one of my welterweight scrapbooks. I have 20 welterweight scrapbooks. This one is Barney Ross. As we know, Barney Ross was a two-time champion. He was eclipsed by Henry Armstrong. I have Henry Armstrong ranked number 4, the greatest fighters that ever lived. This is the great Barney Ross. He was a Jewish welterweight. Outstanding welterweight. Let's take a look. Okay, this is Henry Armstrong. 3-time champion. The only champion that's ever been champion at holding 3 titles at the same time. 36, he beat Petey Sarin. Went up to the welterweight and beat the man we just looked at, Barney Ross, and went back down and defeated Lou Ambers. One of the greatest. Let's turn to another book. This is my Joe Louis versus Max Schmeling book. This book is just devoted to that fight. Let's take a look. As we know, Max Schmeling defeated Joe Louis in 1936. Joe Louis at the time was a rising heavyweight. Sometimes we run into some stumbling blocks, and that was his stumbling block. Right here, he's training for that fight. He used to train in Brewers boxing gym. This was in Detroit. Just trying to scan a little quickly so I can move on. This is Joe Louis and Max Smelling. Let's get a couple more pages. Some article. 1936. Excuse the glare as I fight. So I have receipts. If I talk about something, I pretty much know what I'm talking about because I've done the research. Or I can go ahead and get the research. This was taken out of a 1936 Daily News Centerfold. I have every last one of those. It was about 12 of those. Most of them Joe Louis. Louis and Smelling. $80,000 in the crowd. This was in Yankee Stadium. Let's do one more. All right, these are some of my exhibit cards. I have every exhibit card. I have about 3,000 exhibit cards. They used to come out of an arcade machine. And I got them from 1905, I believe, all the way up to the 1960s. Just kind of give you a ballpark of what I have. Like I said, this is only like 2% of what I have. This is a book with the exhibit cards in it. I got 15 books of exhibit cards. Got Fritzy Zivic, Gus Lesnevich. He was a light heavyweight champion. Zivic was a welterweight champion. He defeated Henry Armstrong. Bob Montgomery, Philadelphia lightweight champion. Ken Overton, he was a middleweight champion. These are some of the KO inserts. You would get them out of a KO magazine when KO magazine was around. I think I have every last one of these. This is Camacho, Brian Mitchell, Marlon Starling, the very good welterweight. Remember when he dethroned Mark Whelan? The Hawk, Aaron Pryor. One of the greatest 140-pounders that we had. Donald the Cobra Curry. And they don't make welterweights like that no more. They don't. James McGirt, Buddy McGirt. Remember I used to spar with him in Gleason's gym? Took the title from Frankie Warren. And Mildred Taylor came up and took the title from McGirt. And I just spread out some of the books. A lot of these were taken from magazines from the 1920s. These are just, a lot of these fighters actually fought the champions. They actually, they had so many fighters back then. It was just crazy. But see, this is when boxing was really boxing, because at this time you had depression and you had guys who really wanted to prove themselves. And there was none of what you have going on now. None of that. You didn't even know who you were fighting most of the time. and they had fights. This is Bruce Flowers. He was from Yonkers, New York. Jack McVeigh, outstanding middleweight. Outstanding middleweight. Jack Warren. I mean, these fighters here, I mean, this is crazy. When you get an opportunity, do some research on some of these fighters. You'll be surprised what you'll learn about your history. I'm just scanning through a little bit. Just overall, some of the layouts I have. This is one of my modern books. This whole book is Mike Tyson. This is Tyson when he just flatlined.